Good morning, children. Today I am going to talk about the Vedic age or the Vedic civilization. Before we talk about the Vedic age, we need to discuss some facts about the Aryans, how they entered into India. Around 1800 BC, the urban-based civilization started declining. New civilizations emerged in India with the coming of the Aryans. The Aryans came from the Russian steppes in the area around the Caspian Sea. The people of this area spoke the languages that are now recognized as part of Indo-European family of languages. The Aryans entered India from Central Asia between 2000 BC and 1500 BC. This large group of nomadic cattle herders crossed the Hindu Kush mountain and came in contact with the Indus Valley civilization. They settled down in India, pushing these previous civilizations. So this is how they came into India. Now we will discuss about this civilization. This is known as the Vedic period. Why this is known as the Vedic period? Because this was the period when Vedas were written around 1500 BC. So that's why this is known as the Vedic period. Now, very important fact, Aryans who came to India, they came to be known as Indo-Aryans. These were the Aryans who came to India, and some of them, they went to Europe while others came to India. Then why do we call this period Vedic period? Vedas were written. What do you mean by Ved? It means knowledge. Veda means knowledge. Now there are some sources of information which tells us about the existence of this Vedic period. We can divide these sources into the literary sources as well as the archaeological sources. First, I will discuss the literary sources. The most important literary sources were the Vedas, which were written during those times. There were 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Samved, Yajurved and Atharved. What is Rig Veda? It is the oldest of all 4 Vedas. Rig Veda is the oldest. Rig Veda is a collection of hymns. Hymns are religious song in praise of God. It has about 1028 hymns. These hymns highlight the political, social, economic and religious condition of the Rig Vedic India. They also tell us about they are dedicated to the gods like Agni, Varun, Indra, etc. Samved, it is collection of songs, mostly which are taken from Rig Veda. Yajurved, it is a collection of sacrificial formulae, means these are the mantras in the Yajurved. Atharved, it's a collection of spells and charms. A study of Atharved reveals that with the passage of time, the Aryans discarded nature worship and developed the worship of the spirits. Now, I will discuss other literary sources. These are the Brahmanas and Aranakyas. Now, what are these? Brahmanas, these are the prose texts which contain details about the meaning of Vedic hymns, their application, stories of their origin. In a way, these contain details about rituals and philosophies. Aranakyas and Upanishads, their concluding portions of the Brahmans are known as Aranakyas. Then Upanishads, it means to sit down and meditate. This is what we mean when a Shishya sits in front of a Guru and meditates, and the teacher, the Guru, gives some of the teachings to the Shishya. So this is all in the Upanishads. Now, archaeological sources. Apart from the literary sources, now we will come to the archaeological sources. What are the evidences which tells us about the existence of the Vedic period? Iron and pottery, use of iron. Yajurveda, that tells us, speaks of the plows which were used during that time. There are evidences like copper harpoon, shoulder cells which are found, which tells us that this civilization once existed. So these are the archaeological sources. One thing I would like to tell you about this Vedic age it has been divided into two periods, early Vedic age and the later Vedic age. Basically, the comparative study between the early Vedic age and the later Vedic age is very, very important. First, we will discuss the social life, religious, political, etc. of the early Vedic age. Then we will come to the later Vedic age. Early Vedic age, which is also known as the Rig Vedic age. This is known as the Rig Vedic age. The period during which the Vedas and other Vedic literature were written. It is known as the Vedics. That's why we call it Rig Vedic age. Now we will discuss about some of the features of their social life, economic, political, as well as the religious life. Let us come to the social life during early Vedic age. In social life, the villages were well planned. The Aryans lived in well-planned villages. A village consisted of a number of joint families. Joint family system was very popular during this period. The village was called a gram. It was rectangular in shape. Village used to be rectangular in shape, in which all the joint families they used to live. And most important feature, that women were treated as equal to men. They got equal respect in the family. Family system was a joint family system where the eldest male member used to be the head of the family. He was known as Griha Pati. Griha means house. So he was known as Griha Pati. Caste system was there, but it was not rigid at all. Caste system was not rigid. Let us come to the economic life of the people of early Vedic age. The major occupations were agriculture and domestication of animals. Aryans were primarily agriculturalists. Their main occupation was the cultivation of land. They got water for irrigation from wells, canals and lakes. But mostly they depended upon the rains. Domestication of animals. Aryans were shepherds by occupation. Cattle rearing was also common economic activity. The cattle was the measure of their wealth, property and status. Now let us discuss something about the political life of the people of early Vedic age. King used to be at the top. He used to be the ruler, and in the Rig Vedic civilization, number of joint families, as I told you before, they made a gram, and number of grams, they formed a clan. Several clans formed a tribe which was known as Jana. Now each tribe or each Jana was ruled by a king. So king used to be at the top. But let me tell you one thing, king was not a despot. There were several other people who used to assist the king. There were ministers, there were officials who used to assist the king. That means there was decentralization of power, division of power. It was not like that king used to take all the decisions. No. So he was not a despot. He was not an autocrat. He used to look towards the welfare of the people. So he was not all powerful. He had to rule according to the wishes of the tribe. He had to lead and defend the tribe during war and maintain internal peace. So king was responsible for maintaining internal peace. He had to settle cases of dispute of the tribesmen also at times. The king had to treat the people in a kind and affectionate manner. There were ministers, advisors and other officers to assist the king. Senani was there, Purohita for the religious affairs, Senani for all the affairs regarding the army. Sabha and Samiti, these were very important to assemblies. Sabha was a group of elders of the family. This consisted of group of elders. Samiti, all people of that tribe used to be the member of this Samiti. So these were two assemblies. Samiti was like a general assembly, and Sabha was like important people. So these used to assist the king from time to time. King received money from the land revenue. About the religious life of the people of this period. They were very religious people. They worshipped number of nature gods such as Varun, Surya, Indra. Sacrifices and yajnas were performed. Yajnas were very important part of their religious life. They were very religious people. Mostly they didn't keep idols in their homes. Their beliefs and religious beliefs and practices, actually they saw many in one and one in many. The Aryans offered all worships in the open. That was the most important feature. They made no temples, no shrines or idols for this purpose. So this was about the social, economic, political and religious life of the people of early Vedic period.